What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another Comically Boston, episode 45. Today is March 20th, 2023. What's going on, everybody? Let's get straight into it. The news from over the weekend. How'd my Celtics do? Not so fucking good, man. If we're jumping in from where we last left off, last Wednesday night, the Timberwolves faced the Celtics, and we did get a W, 104-102, improving our record to 48-22. Jason Tatum had 22 points, 12 rebounds. Jaylen Brown had 35 and 10. That's a solid performance. Edwards had, for the Timberwolves, had 28 and 10 rebounds. The Celtics versus the Trailblazers on Friday night. On Happy St. Paddy's Day to those Irish folks around here. Shout out to Jake Nardone, good buddy of mine. His birthday is also St. Paddy's Day. I remembered it was his birthday before I remembered it was St. Paddy's Day. Only reason I realized it was St. Paddy's Day was some old white guy at work was like, I can't wait to get a Guinness. And I was like, oh, God. Such a Boston thing to say. Such an Irish thing to say. And I'm Irish and I'm from Boston, but I don't drink, so what are you going to do? And I will drink. Not to say I just don't drink. I just think it's not healthy for you, and I don't find it fun. You know, like you drink. Sure, you can have liquid courage. You take one drink and it makes you start feeling good. But then after that one drink, or two drinks, more than that, you just wake up the next day feeling like shit. Your stomach gets fucked up. You're shitting. You know, it's just not good. Where for me, I'm a smoker. You know, if I smoke a little bit, go to bed, sleep great, wake up in the morning, feel great. You know, like don't have a hangover from the night before. So, it is what it is. Friday night, we picked up a dub versus the Trailblazers. That was a big game. I thought Damian Lillard was going to come back on us and pull Dame time. But we ended up squeaking it out. A W, 126-112, improving our record to 49-22. Jason Tatum had 34 points, 12 rebounds. He surpasses 2,000 points on the season. He is one of, I think, 3 other players to do 2,000 points in multiple seasons. I believe it's Bird and who is the other one? I think Pierce, Paul Pierce, in 2,000 points in multiple seasons. That's a lot of points. Good for JT. JB had 27, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Smart had 15. Derek White had 13. Al had 12. That's what happens. You pick up a dub when all of your starting 5 gets double figures, and then Luke Cornett off the bench scores 11. But when you have Damian Lillard, he dropped 41, 5 assists, but he had 7 turnovers. That's costly for them. But Damian Lillard, what a beast, dropped 41. Then Saturday night, the Celtics faced the Utah Jazz in a back-to-back, Friday, Saturday. And yes, it was a second night of a back-to-back, but it was a big game. We were like a game back on the Bucks, or a half game back, and we were a game ahead of the 76ers, and now I think we might be tied with the 76ers for second, so now we might even drop to third if we lose another game. Chaos the Celtics season, but we got I think 12 games left, and we got to really pull out something during this home stretch here. So the Celtics lose in a close one Saturday night to the Utah Jazz. We lost 118-117. I think Grant Williams had a good night. He did drop 23 points himself, but he blew it. Jason Tatum, I believe the play was drawn up for him, and Grant made a read thinking he was hot shit and cut to the basket and tried to finish over 3 players and got blocked, and that was the game. Terrible fucking choice by Grant. Like, I don't care how good you were feeling all day, and if you drop 23 in that game. Jason Tatum for the game is always for the choice, even though he wasn't playing well and he had 15 points, 6 assists. JB had 25 and 6 assists. Brogdon was back for this game. He had 16 off the bench. Derek White, 10 points. Lauri Markkanen for the Utah Jazz, he has become his own. He was an all-star this year. 28 and 10 for him. That's a solid performance. And Lauri Markkanen's a good player. Celtics next play at the Sacramento Kings, on Tuesday night, and the Celtics have clinched the playoffs, so congratulations to them. I don't know how we lost and clinched the playoffs, so but who thought the Celtics weren't going to the playoffs, you know? So ever since game 1, regardless of the Ime shit, I was like, Celtics going to playoffs, so it is what it is. Into other news, I said last week Ted Lasso episode 1 came out, and if you guys are watching Ted Lasso, It is a great show. It is so funny, and if you're all caught up in I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but if you guys are all caught up, Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 1, I thought the funniest part of it was Jamie Tart in the locker room, and Nate the Great on the other team is talking shit in the press conference, and everyone starts to get mad, and Jamie Tart walks in and goes, "It's just poop, eh? You gotta let it flow." You know, like, that shit fucking killed me. Just poop, eh? You know, like, in his little Liverpool accent. Just poop, eh? Gotta let it flow. You know? Shit kills me. Some Marvel news from this week. And some DC news. We'll start with that first. Theo Rossi. He was, I believe, a henchman or like the right-hand man in Luke Cage of Mahershala Ali's character. I believe he was in that. But Theo Rossi. He is cast in the Penguin as some character, so maybe he's going to be a right-hand man again for my boy Colin Farrell's Penguin. He's looking mean in that pink suit and that leather chain. Some Marvel news this week. Sacha Baron Cohen, you know, from Borat, is cast as the Devil, I believe, in that. This has been confirmed for a little bit now. So Sacha Baron Cohen may be getting a Mephisto series? What do you think of that? Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, is the Devil in the MCU? Makes sense. I mean, who else are they going to get to play the Devil? Me? Maybe. But I think Sacha Baron Cohen beats me out. Last episode of Comically Boston, we were talking about possible news that Rama Tut, Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors might be the main villain for Moon Knight Season 2. And this is a fan-made poster. I thought this was cool with Rama Tut up there in the top corner. Khonshu, the Scarlet Scarab, which is Hippo, you know. Like, I loved Moon Knight. Moon Knight was so fucking badass. And Oscar Isaac's amazing. So I would love to see Oscar Isaac and Jonathan Majors bouncing off each other. That would be something to see. So what do you guys think down below? Are you excited for Moon Knight to come back into the MCU? I am. Some terrible news from last week that Lance Reddick from John Wick, he is the black guy that is at the front desk. And he's done other films as well and shows. I believe he was in The Wire, which I want to start. And he suddenly passed away at like 60 years old. And overnight, like, and the day before he had posted a video with his dog. So it's very sad stuff. But Lance Reddick, rest in peace, brother. You handsome bastard. And you had such a voice and such a deep, like, perfect voice. So, you know, like, he had that voice, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But he is going to be in John Wick 4, and they said that they're dedicating the film to him, so that's very nice. John Wick 4 comes out this week. Let me know if you guys will be seeing that, because I'm all hyped up about it. I think I may go see it myself very soon. And some more Marvel news. This is a big week for Marvel news. Also some pictures released from the cast of Loki Season 2, which is them just chilling around. Sophia DiMartino, Ki-Ho Kwan, and Tom Hiddleston. They're looking good together. Who dressed them? I don't know. Ki looks the best, I think. What is that sweater, Tom? And this cheetah print. What are you, a cheetah girl, Sylvie? Sophia DiMartino. But I am hyped for Loki Season 2. I can't wait to see these three in action in that. Next on the list, there's a picture that was teasing Nick Cage as Dracula in Renfield hitting theaters on April 14th. I think Nicolas Cage is the only one that can play Nosferatu nowadays. So, it is what it is. A Marvel movie is set to film in Washington, D.C. in June. The movie can be, I think they went to say could be. The movie could be Captain America New World Order or Thunderbolts or both. So I think something will be filming in Washington, D.C. for Marvel. And that's interesting because that will probably be leaked information all over the place. Considering that there's been leaked news lately. This picture got leaked. And for those of you that don't want spoilers for Spider-Man or Daredevil, Born Again, cut off the screen, fast forward, click the button, double tap, you know, get the hell out of here. Because right now I'm dropping a spoiler. This picture from Twitter, or somebody dropped it, but somebody snagged a picture of Matt Murdock and Spider-Man on the streets filming for, I believe, Daredevil Born Again. And you can see Matt Murdock there is definitely in his suit, so he's not daredeviled up, but he is got a little cut on his eye. So he's been fighting. What has he been up to? And Spidey there isn't in his Spidey suit and doesn't have a Spidey suit underneath. You can tell because he doesn't have long sleeve shirt on. But he is in his classic red t-shirt, blue jeans, you know, so that's very Spidey suit. But I think Spider-Man and Daredevil Born Again is going to be something. And that's definitely going to bring a lot of attention to that show just for that. But who knows? Who knows? Last week on The Mandalorian, there was an actress named Katy O'Brien that is killing it in that killed it in episode 3, and she's very evil. But here's a picture of her on the red carpet from The Mandalorian, and she's looking jacked. And people are already saying that they're fan casting her for Abby in season 2 of The Last of Us. And then right after I saw that, Neil Druckmann, who posted this, "No, The Last of Us," this was Sunday night, this was last night, he goes, "No, The Last of Us on HBO tonight, but season 2 is already on its way. Endure and survive." And this was the picture he posted, and it was obviously of a forearm and a hammer. And for those of you that don't know, that is from this scene in The Last of Us Part 2, and you're playing as Abby, and she has a bloody hammer, and she's ripped, and Abby's jacked in Part 2. So whoever they have to get has to be jacked. So Katy O'Brien, why not? I would like to see her as Abby, possibly, potentially. Unless they get some no-name and then make her famous, which would be awesome. Not that Bella Ramsey or Pedro Pascal are no-names, but Bella Ramsey you haven't really seen in anything since she was a kid. Well, maybe that's unfair for me to say. I haven't seen her in many things other than Game of Thrones when she was much younger. So now that she's getting The Last of Us as 19, 20-year-old, however old she is, she's probably going to be getting a Marvel role. She's probably going to be getting some big roles, and she's going to be acting more soon. At least I hope. I think she killed it in The Last of Us Season 1. She's going to kill it in The Last of Us Season 2. And Pedro, we all know Pedro. Pedro fucking kills it in anything he does. So get Pedro a Marvel role. Why not? There's got to be a guy with a mustache. There's got to be a guy in Marvel Comics with a killer mustache. Comment below who you fan casting Pedro Pascal and his mustache for in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's got to be somebody, right? Like Mustache Bill. He's like a cowboy or something. You know, there's got to be somebody that they've made up in 80 years of Marvel Comics that has a killer mustache. You know, like Pedro. Yeah, so The Mandalorian coming up Wednesday. That will be the next episode of Comically Boston. Stay tuned for that. I also watched the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix this weekend. Shout out to Sergio Perez for winning that. Max Verstappen for coming in second, and Fernando Alonso coming in third. I normally probably wouldn't cover that on this channel, but I do watch the Formula One. So Drive to Survive on Netflix really got me into it. And now that I've watched season 4, and season 5 will be coming out for this season, like that will be what it's for. And this season's already underway, so there's already been, I think, 2 races so far this season for the F1 guys, and I think Red Bull's won both of them. So Red Bull's a bunch of studs. Fourth, we'll go through the list. Alonso in third. Russell, Hamilton, 4th and 5th for Mercedes. Sainz and Leclerc for Ferrari. Albon Ocon, I think his name is, and Pierre Gasly for Alpine finishing 8th and 9th, and Magnussen for the Haas finishing in 10th. That's interesting as well. They normally don't finish top 10, so good for Haas. But I thought it was funny that they gave George Russell the podium, which would be his first podium of the season, and they gave it to him and then took it away because they gave Fernando a penalty. So he had lost his podium for P3, and he was dropped down to P4, then reinstated to P5 a couple minutes later. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why do they keep jumping around? But regardless, it's Sergio Perez is your winner, and the podium was Sergio in the middle, Max Verstappen on the left, and Fernando Alonso on the right in your Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's a mouthful. Comment below. Have you been watching Formula One? Have you been watching The Mandalorian? Are you hyped for Loki season 2 and Daredevil and Mephisto and WandaVision and all that stuff? More stuff coming out. More stuff. Are you hyped for the Batman Part 2? Are you hyped for the Penguin series coming to HBO Max? There's a lot of things going on. Are you watching Ted Lasso right now? Are you hyped for NBA playoffs? NFL playoffs, I think, are already going on. But NBA playoffs start pretty friggin' soon, considering we just clinched the playoffs. Who do you got? Kings versus Celtics on Tuesday night. Will the Kings light the beam? Or will the Celtics disrupt a home victory for them? Who knows? I think the Celtics will take it. I said I never do predictions anymore, but fuck it, I'm saying it anyways, which means we'll probably lose because I am bad luck. But that's it for me, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this another episode on a Monday, another Monday, Comically Boston. We're making our way through the year. We're 3 months into this bad boy, and we're just going to keep chugging along until we finish out the year. And then maybe we'll keep going. But I've been enjoying making these videos. I hope you've been enjoying watching them. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit that bell icon if you don't want to miss any future videos. And stay tuned to Wednesday, because we're going to be watching The Mandalorian and probably Ted Lasso. And stay tuned for that. There will be another video coming your way. And be safe, be well. Peace out, y'all.